All right, let's move on to All Out. So let's move on to Sunday night, or Saturday night, that pay-per-view was actually. By the way, reminder, let me just say again, if anyone's just tuning into this segment, subscribe to our YouTube, please, and follow us on X. I'm posting a lot on X recently. If you want to get our I'm not on there all the time, but if I'm, not doing anything and I get a thought for a match or something early, you might get some early thoughts before our podcast. So I'm giving a plug to our X. We want some more followers there. Would be nice. But yeah, I am working on that more. And if you're not subscribed on the YouTube, please subscribe to that. Also, we're trying to get to 500 so we can make some money off this, make some more shows, do some more wrestling reviews. So help us out with that. But let's get to our review of All Out. So we've jumped in from Dynamite to All Out. This is MJF versus Daniel Garcia. So the angle for today was a match. They were going to have a match, and I'm not really going to go over the match. Okay, I'll go over the finish. MJF got the pin. Good match, right? They had a good match. This is them at the end when they're laying on each other, tired and exhausted from this incredibly hard match they had. And MJF was going to shake hands after everything that, they've been through and said about each other. MJF was going to offer to shake his hand. But it was a ruse. He was going to try to kick him in the balls, I guess, and Daniel Garcia caught him by the leg and proceeded to beat MJF mercilessly and leave him humiliated and embarrassed in front of the crowd before he runs off, before staff comes to break it up. But there you go. So the angle was basically MJF won the match, but Daniel Garcia got the better of him physically at the end. So Daniel Garcia beat his ass and humiliated him and got back at him. So, Vlad, I had questions about your review of this because you gave it a...
Did I not give it a rating?
You gave it a thumbs up, but you mentioned that you only liked the match and you didn't like the angle afterwards. So you're still giving it a thumbs up overall. But I would think that if you didn't like the angle afterwards, you would give it a thumbs down, despite it being a good match. But okay, all right. And then Robert also gave this. Robert, I don't have your rating for this.
One thumb.
Thumbs up from Robert. Okay, so both of you guys thumbs up. I also gave this a thumbs up. I didn't mind the idea of, well, MJF got the win. He deserves the win. He's better. He's more over. And then he gave something back a little bit to the guy. I don't know. Vlad doesn't want MJF giving anything back to Daniel Garcia, guy. I guess. But okay. All right, I'll start with you then. You go first. 60 seconds on the clock.
Well, the match itself I thoroughly enjoyed. It was probably my favorite match of the night. It was, I think, the best match of the night, in fact.
So Daniel Garcia can work then, huh? According to Vlad. There you go.
He can work. I mean, how much credit he gets is up to you. If you want to give him the credit that it was a good work match, or just that MJF again, carried the guy. It's up to you however you want to, come up with that decision. You could come up with it on your own. But the match itself was, I thought, really, really good. I enjoyed it. It was kind of downhill after that for me for the rest of the card. So it opened the show, and I was like, "Oh boy, MJF just went, and it's going to be a long show afterwards." But the post thing where he leaves him laying is, I mean, I don't know, man. I just think of I look at Daniel Garcia as an undercard guy. I'm sorry. And I don't see Ric Flair or Steve Austin or Hulk Hogan or guys getting laid out by some middle card, undercard jabroni. I'm sorry. I mean, I know it's, whatever. Jabroni's kind of an
those guys
term.
Didn't want to elevate anybody. They didn't want to help anybody out in the business.
Yeah,
they wanted all the money for themselves.
Sure, I understand that. But Daniel Garcia is not ready to be elevated at that level. I mean, look how hard he had to actually beat him. That would be another critique of the thing, but it was absurd. I mean, he basically had to work as hard as he did with Ospreay, if not even harder. So I think there were some issues with that, but overall, I can't say I didn't like the match. I did like it, but I really did not like the post match of undercard guy getting the best of basically the biggest star of the company in my opinion. So no, did not like that.
All right, well, let me jump to Robert. So Robert gave it a thumbs up also for the angle. MJF won the match. Daniel Garcia kicked his ass after the match. Any thoughts you have on this, Robert?
Yeah, so I didn't mind anything that happened, the match, how it went down, and what happened afterwards. I just viewed this as MJF giving Daniel Garcia the rub. You know, that's simple to me. But okay, now I gave this 1 thumbs up. I need to provide some context though. I was eating dinner at the same while I was watching this match, and I think that was a bad idea because there was some parts of this match where like you saw a lot of snot from Daniel Garcia, and then you saw spit on their faces. It was disgusting. I was like, oh
they
man.
both spit at each other.
So me eating dinner at the same time as watching this was probably not a good idea. I should have eaten it before or after. I don't know if that had any effect on my rating, but it was still a good match. And what Daniel Garcia did to MJF at the end was understandable. I would say MJF had it coming. So
did he spit in his face?
Okay, that's fine. My biggest thing is, do you think, Robert, that Daniel Garcia should be elevated? Like, is he a guy that you would elevate to that level, that you should be able to lay MJF out, spit in his face, lay him out, and that's that? You know, like, is he at that level? Do you see him at that level?
Not at the moment. I don't know what everybody else sees in him, and management, maybe they see potential in him. Maybe, I don't know, but at the moment,
whether you see potential in him, whether you see potential in him or not, Vlad, he is a staple on this show, and he's going to be. So you got to give him something to make him look good. He could brag about this now. Like, he could say, "Yeah, I'm the guy that fucking laid out MJF. He don't want a piece of me." You know what I mean? At least so that when we see him, Daniel Garcia coming up in the future for the next few years, at least we have something to like think of and make him feel like he's not a jabroni, because he is going to be on the show. If he's going to be a main eventer or not, I still think it helps him. But
I think it should be noted. This is something I should not forget to mention. Never once during this whole match did Daniel Garcia ever do the dance.
Yeah, I know. That's a little sad to me, but he didn't win.
I think the dance is over. I think the dance is over.
The dance is not over. When he becomes world heavyweight champion, will do the dance again.
No,
I know.
I'll say this for Garcia. I don't think he's like a bad worker. I think he has some skills as far as the ability to do stuff. I just think he's not at that level where you should be elevated on this level. He's not there yet. I don't know if he's going to be. I don't really see it. I don't see any interesting character potential for him. I think he's just a bland guy that can wrestle, which there are plenty of, and that's okay. But he could be in the mid card. Why is that so bad? Like, not everybody can be the world champion. Not everybody can be the main star in the company. Some guys have to be in the undercard.
He might have to be, because WWE keep taking everybody that AEW build up. So maybe Daniel Garcia is going to be the one guy that they can keep. So they got to build
two guys that were obviously that had worked there previously. Punk.
They took Ethan Page. They're going to take
Ethan Page,
Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks
coming next. Yeah, man. They try to start building Ricky Starks, and then I think maybe Tony Khan's getting to that point where he's thinking, like, you know what, if I'm gonna put guys over, I gotta put guys over that are gonna stay here at least. And Daniel Garcia seems like a safe bet that maybe at least he'll stay.
That's true.
But anyways,
I'm okay with whatever. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Good debate. Good debate.